Welcome back to the Wacky, Wonderful, Wise Works podcast, everybody. All you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs. We got an episode for you guys today. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. So buckle up. We've definitely talked about this before on this podcast, but do you remember in like the early 2000s, late 90s, when they would be like, it's 2 thumbs up?
No, I don't remember that. What are you talking about? Like it's 2 thumbs up. Wait, you mean like in reviews it would be like yeah 2 thumbs up.
It was like, this movie is so good, it's not 1 thumbs up, it's 2 thumbs up. Do you remember that? Yeah.
I know that. I thought you meant it was like a catchphrase that people would go around saying.
No,
but it was more like a review statement.
Yes,
right.
I mean, if I don't want to toot our own horn here, but the critics say this podcast is 2 thumbs up.
I've never heard a critic say it's 2 thumbs up, man. So we're going to be talking about Star Wars. We're going to be talking about maybe some Chris Nolan. We're going to be talking about the Batman with Matt Reeves, or the movies that he's put together, and this universe he's building out, which is turning out to be a really great time. You know?
Yeah.
It is. Have you watched any of The Penguin yet?
Yeah, no. I've seen all of it.
No, you haven't. You haven't seen any of it yet, which is
sorry.
A real shame. It's dang shame.
I'm okay. This is not really an excuse, but I'm gonna use it as an excuse anyway because I don't have an excuse, so I'm gonna use a dumb excuse. I'm gonna blame Levi here. Levi is monopolizing the HBO because you guys watch it, and then Levi gets on.
That's not true.
So I'm just gonna blame Levi. Even though that's not true, he probably barely watches it.
I don't even know what he watches, but I don't think he watches that much.
I don't think he watches anything.
I've told you to get off once, and you weren't even on it when I asked you to get off.
I know. I honestly think that it's not his fault, but I'm going to blame him just because I need somebody to blame. So I'm going to blame him.
This is what I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not looking forward to the day when they put the kibosh on this. But when you're sharing on different devices, streaming service, right?
Yes.
I think whenever you have a limited amount of devices that can be watching it at a time, I think if someone's watching on their phone, like if they're logged in and then they don't close the app out, I think it stays on. Right?
Yeah.
So it won't let someone else watch if they're not. It's a whole mess. But yeah, go ahead.
I think we might be turning away from that a little bit, and they're going to start. They figured out how to use. It's not VPNs, but internet signals.
Bro, don't talk to me like I don't know this already.
No, I know, but this week, so I've never had a problem watching Disney Plus.
I know. Disney Plus kicked me out too.
It kicked me out, and I was upset because I was in the middle of watching something, probably, a family-friendly movie. Like,
what were you watching?
I don't know, like Cheaper by the Dozen.
Cheaper by the Dozen.
I wasn't, but something like that probably. And I wanted to continue watching it, and
it kicked you out.
I couldn't because it kicked me out, and I was upset.
And here's the thing. I don't want to pay for Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of Disney. But for this channel, am I going to have to?
I don't know. It let me back on. It let me back on today. And so I'm hoping that we can trick the system a little bit. But
oh, what does this world come to? We can't share subscription services anymore.
I know. I mean,
what does this world come to, man?
You get a Redbox DVD, and then I don't know what was the equivalent of sharing logins.
This is the equivalent of losing the ability to share logins. Is the equivalent of getting a Redbox TV where someone had just run their nail across the disc and put it back in the machine. You know what I mean? So when you rent it, it's just skip, and you can't actually watch the movie. You know what I mean? You get your hopes up, and it takes it away from you. That's the problem.
That's why VHS was a better technology than DVD.
It didn't have as many mess ups, and you could go to the library and get a movie for free. You know what I mean? That was a beautiful thing. Where's our digital library to watch free movies?
Have you put a VHS, or even I'll give you the benefit of that. Have you put a DVD in a DVD player recently and watched it?
No.
Oh my goodness. So I've got a ton of DVDs still.
Okay.
And I did that not too long ago. And I'm like, why is it so blurry? I can barely tell what's going on here. The DVD quality.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Terrible. And then you go even further when you put a VHS in. It's less quality. And I'm like, am I just spoiled watching my 4K streaming
yes.
here?
Yeah. Yes, you're spoiled.
DVDs are terrible quality.
DVD quality is 720 by 480. Can you believe it? It wasn't even 1280 by 720. It was nowhere near HD. I feel like the internet got HD before Blu-ray did. You know what I mean?
Well, Blu-ray was when we were dabbling in 4K and all that. So it got better with Blu-ray, but DVD, just straight DVD, not good.
Not good. And volatile. We went over that last week.
Oh. Yeah. I was trying to watch in the past year, which they're all on Paramount Plus now, I think, but I was trying to watch the Godfather movies, and I have the DVD copies of all of them, so I was watching them. And then I tried to watch Inception recently, and that was also not great quality. And
it's just bad, low quality, dude. But it was like the cheapest product ever made.
Oh, yeah. But like the Godfather specifically, where it was made on film, and they upgraded it the best they could for DVD, but it doesn't not quite there. You're only seeing, you're seeing a blurry Michael Corleone.
Exactly. And we have a whole case of DVDs from our old film, The Dying of the Leaves. What am I going to do with all of these DVDs? Well, no one even has a player anymore.
You have a box of them?
I have a box of them.
Okay, well, I've got 2 boxes of them here.
We've got at least 250 DVDs of this movie.
Probably.
We should take them out in the street and just throw them places.
No, we should pass them out. Sign them and pass them out to fans.
Sign them? Who the crap wants our signature, man?
Maybe.
Nobody wants our signature. Ah, silliness.
I don't know. Star Wars. They've talked about some things here and there. They have teased that there was going to be a Rey movie coming out. Maybe it's going to be episode... What are we on? Episode 10?
Yes.
Episode 10. They're teasing maybe it's episode 10. Maybe it's going to be not really part of the...
continuation of the Skywalker saga?
Because technically, where are we at? Is it technically episode 10 at this point? We've had how many movies that were standalone movies in the Star Wars universe? Is it technically episode 10? Who knows? But right now they just made an announcement where they have signed and made a deal with a writer and producer for...
Simon Kinberg.
Yes. So read this article real quick and give us a little bit of information.
All right, so Lucasfilms has closed a deal with Simon Kinberg to develop a trilogy of Star Wars films. Kinberg will write the trio and produce them with Lucasfilms chief Kathleen Kennedy. I got to stop right there.
Okay.
When are they going to get rid of this old hag? What are they going to get? They got to give her the boot. After Acolyte, after Kenobi, after all this mess, I think she has single-handedly ruined Star Wars.
They need
to give her the boot, man.
She might get the boot after, Apple decides to buy Disney.
They need to stop creating Star Wars, get her out, and then reboot Star Wars.
This is a very much a bunny trail, but I'm just going to say it for 10 seconds, and then we can come back to the actual topic.
You're the only person that's ever heard above the age of 4 that I've heard call it a bunny trail. It's a rabbit trail.
Rabbit trail. Okay.
Nobody calls it a bunny trail.
There's been some rumors that Elon Musk is dabbling at what his next thing is, his adventure of he's going to buy a big company, and it's either he's going to buy CNN, I think, or he's going to buy Disneyland. Disneyland, like the parks. And he's going to he dabbled and he said, like, on an interview about like a couple months ago on a podcast or something, where he said, yeah, maybe I'll buy Disneyland and redo it and make it better again. But he also, around this election holiday, or I don't know if it's a holiday, but around this election season, he said, I'm probably going to buy CNN and then fix all the problems, and which is crazy. Back to the original topic.
Actually buy CNN. Okay. Justice Department warns Elon Musk that his $1 million, this is just an article about him. Elon Musk demands another huge payday from Tesla. Disney is doubling its investment. I don't see any article about this.
It was a few months ago. He said on an interview, he I don't know if it was a joke or something. He was like, maybe I'll just buy.
It had to have been a joke.
It could have been. But who knows? Elon Musk is buying Twitter and things. He's single-handedly buying things and pretending it's a joke, but then he'll just then he just does buy it out of randomness. But back to the original topic. So Star Wars is getting a 10, 11, 12.
I heard this will comprise episode 10 through 12 of the Skywalker saga that began with George Lucas, blah, blah, blah. We all know about the history, which along with Steven Spielberg, Jaws, reshaped the global blockbuster. Oh my gosh. It's like they have to give us a history lesson in every article. People know about Star Wars. Get on with it. Kindberg previously worked with Lucasfilm in co-writing with Dave Filoni and Carrie Beck the Emmy-nominated animated series Star Wars Rebels that ran for 4 seasons. Okay, so he did some Star Wars Rebels.
Which is
Here's the thing, though. It's fine. Other films that he's known for is stuff like Mr. and Miss Smith. So like that's the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt one, as well as, let's see, his IMDb.
Yeah, so we have the IMDb pulled up.
So this is his writing credits. He did a lot of X-Men. So X-Men Dark Phoenix, Star Wars Rebels, X-Men Apocalypse. He did the bad Fantastic Four, the one with Miles Teller.
Miles Teller, why am I listening?
He did
Michael B. Jordan, not Michael Jordan.
He did Days of Future Past X-Men. He did Sherlock Holmes, which I thought was actually good in 2009. Okay. So out of his whole list, I might see 2 that I don't hate, maybe 3, right? Yeah. His producing credits are a bit more extensive. So, and he's got a lot that's coming out. So he was an executive producer, Deadpool and Wolverine, Death on the Nile, The Haunting in Venice, X-Men, The Gift. Oh, I watched The Gift. That was a creepy film. That's The Gifted, not The Gift. The Gifted.
Another X-Men. That was an X-Men show.
So he's been in X-Men for a while. So to see him kind of go into Star Wars. Ooh, he produced Chappie. That was a horrible movie.
Chappie. I watched it, but I
hated this movie.
I don't remember anything about it. It was very forgettable. I honestly don't remember anything about it.
It was so bad.
Didn't Hugh Jackman have like a mullet in that movie?
He had something. I don't remember. No, there were the weird band. Like they had. You remember those the villains or like the people that Chappie was hanging out with? You know what I mean?
I honestly do not remember that film at all.
Okay. Well,
It's
either
so
way,
forgettable.
what's your first response? Do we even want this? Why the crap is not George Lucas? Why is Lucasfilms and Kathleen Kennedy and Disney even entertaining this idea when how much the audience hates these movies? I don't care how skilled of a writer you bring on, you're not going to make it good if Kathleen Kennedy's involved. Why the crap are they considering this?
So two things are on my mind. One is, why are they saying it's 10, 11, 12 when we've had so many standalone movies at this point? Why don't they just say it's a Star Wars movie about Rey? I'll accept that.
Well, they already announced that. They already announced that, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is going to direct it, that activist who does documentary films, and it's going to be a one-off film. This is supposed to be 3 movies that happens next after the Rey story, because remember,
so
the Rey Palpatine, right, and Kylo Skywalker or Kylo Ren or whatever, but they're Solo, I guess. So they're actually the end of their story.
I think you might be a little confused here, because yes, they did make that announcement, but there's so much cancellation in Disney right now because it's like, this is not working.
I'm not confused by this. They have not officially canceled it.
They haven't officially canceled. I'm almost positive.
No, there is talks.
This is Rey stuff.
No. They announced a single Rey movie, and it was going to be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see when Disney makes more announcements if that's true or not. But for now, 10, 11, 12, I don't know why they're saying that's what this is, because there's so many movies in the Star Wars universe at this point. And then second thing is, if they make more, now listen here close.
I'm listening.
Listen here. Get in a little closer. Come in a little closer. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. What are you going to say?
If they destroy another Death Star, I will be pissed off.
They're going to. They're creatively bankrupt. They don't have any other plot points in Star Wars. They have to destroy a Death Star. That's the only ground they have to work off of. You have a controlling empire.
It was fun the first time. It was an original story. As much as we don't have Wyatt here to combat this, but I'm going to stand up for George Lucas here and say it was original story. It was fun, and I liked it. I've seen the movie. It's like a Christmas, Thanksgiving tradition to watch it at our family, and I've seen it probably like 30 times in my life.
Okay.
It was fun. But if I see another destroying of a version of a Death Star, I will lose.
You're going to be piffed.
I'm going to lose my...
No, don't cuss. All right. This is just a bad idea. I don't think that there's anything that can come out of Star Wars that's going to be good, with the exception of maybe Andor Season 2.
No, there can be good stuff coming out of Star Wars if they don't repeat the past. And they come up with an original story.
We can guarantee this is going to be bad. We can guarantee it.
Why?
Because it's going to be the next big blockbuster Star Wars movies. They've only done hits, like series hits for Disney Plus. This is going to be a theatrical run for these movies. They are going to expect big things, which means every executive and Kathleen Kennedy is going to have their witch nails in the pie that's being cooked, and the pie is going to be spoiled.
Why are we making a pie here? Let's make like a good, delicious, savory
Don't
quiche.
Start down the freaking food analogies, please. There's nothing wrong with my pie analogy.
Let's make a nice quiche.
There's nothing wrong.
Stick with the Star Wars universe, but make something unique. Like I saw,
like Andor.
Someone commented on our Skeleton Crew reaction that we did, and the comment was, "Oh, I'm so excited for Star Wars Goonies," and I was like, "That's it. That's true. It's Star Wars Goonies."
Yeah, that's what I said when the in the reaction.
Yeah,
it was. it was literally the whole internet's been saying that since the trailer came out. They're like, it's so clearly what they're trying to go for. They're going for that early Spielberg vibe of the kids on an adventure like Goonies, and they want to try to create that inside of the Star Wars universe. And I don't think, excuse me, I don't think it fits in Star Wars, okay? I think tell a space adventure with kids. No.
I think it can.
Go watch the Skeleton Crew trailer and tell me that anything about that. It feels more like Guardians of the Galaxy than it feels like Star Wars. It doesn't feel like Star Wars at all.
Okay. Let's go back to the concept of Star Wars. Get rid of all the films. Let's only bring the films that are directed by George Lucas. Define Star Wars for me here.
Jedis and Siths, good and evil, balance to the Force, redemption, bravery. What specifically are you looking for?
That's giving me what I want.
Lightsaber fights, Force using, forbidden love. That's what I'm talking.
Star Wars is a
familial relationships.
No. Let me quantify this specifically. It is a secret society of Jedi Knights. These monk-like.
They're wizard ninjas in the universe.
Yes, that wizard are in a space. They're ninjas. They're supposed to be in space.
Wizard. They're supposed to be wizard ninja peacekeepers. That's what they're supposed to be.
Okay, sure. We'll accept that. So yes, in that definition, maybe a Goonies, Star Wars Goonies doesn't really fit because
it fits. I'm just saying, go watch the trailer. The vibe is off. They're not capturing the wonder of what a Star Wars story is supposed to feel. I'm not talking about can kids have an adventure in the Star Wars universe. I think they can. I'm talking about go watch the trailer. Tell me the music and the production and everything in that trailer feels at all like Star Wars. I think it feels more like a Marvel movie like Guardians of the Galaxy than it does Star Wars.
Everything's a Marvel movie today. Everything is a Marvel movie where they have these quippy jokes and they're very big action adventure, quippy joke type movies. I'm just trying to break down like Star Wars to give us what I don't want to look at the whole Star Wars universe. I want to look at specifically because they are in this article. This is not our quote. This is in this article. They're calling this episode 10, 11, 12. So if that's the case, I want to know what makes it 10, 11, 12 and not just like a Star Wars in the Star Wars universe. I want
so they definitely in freaking theory, if they're going to build on the stupid Rey Palpatine bit and they're going to actually continue where that movie left off, you're kind of done with the Skywalker trilogy. You're done with the Skywalker saga. Except for the stupid detail that they gave Rey the Skywalker name. Like, she's like, I'm going to keep the Skywalker name even though I'm a Palpatine. I'm just going to call myself Rey Skywalker. That's not, oh my, this is so frustrating.
Oh, yeah, because So
in theory, if you're going to continue the Skywalker saga, which is what all of the mainstream Star Wars movies have been about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In theory, you have to keep following Rey according to Disney Star Wars dumb freaking logic.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the next adventure that Rey finds herself on. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be some stupid thing where she's going to be lightsaber fighting all the boys and kicking some butt and literally taking other people's names. She literally kicked butt and took the Skywalker's name.
she. What was the quote? She's lightsaber fighting all the boys.
All the boys. She's kicking butt and taking the Skywalker's names. So what do you... That's literally the only logical path. Unless they abandon it completely and just say, we're done with the Skywalker saga, but the next 3 movies are going to be what takes place with the Jedi Order, separate from Rey, right? After that. And I don't know what that even looks like. Who's still a Jedi? Kylo Ren's dead.
Yeah.
Rey's alive. Who else is a Force user?
Nobody.
Who's trained in the Force? Luke is dead. He's a premonition.
Yeah. Dang it. Man, I hate that movie so much. I hate both those movies so much. 8 and 9.
Hold on.
I've only seen them one time, and I forgot that Luke was dead.
Wait, is Ahsoka still alive according to this? Like, are the side characters still alive? No, she's not still alive. Ahsoka's not still alive.
No.
Who's alive at this point?
For the Jedi. No, it's going to be. So this movie, just as a guess on what Disney's going to do.
Okay.
It's going to be what we always wanted to see from Luke was Luke training and continuing the Jedi, teachings, where Luke trained, had a Padawan learner, where we
What
never
are you talking about? Are you theorizing about what the next 3 movies are going to be?
Yeah.
But no, it has to be in chronological order.
Well, I know. Hear me out. This movie is going to be what we've always wanted to see, where we wanted to see Luke have a Padawan learner or continue the Jedi after the 6th movie. We wanted to see that. So they're going to do that, but with Rey.
So Rey is going to be teaching somebody how to be a Jedi.
I think so. I think this is going to be like Rey becomes the master. And
what is so freaking insane?
Which, yes, I would agree. She doesn't have enough training to be the master.
In the prequels, the Jedi Order was something you were started as a child, and you grew up till you could eventually become a Padawan and then a master.
Yeah.
It was like your whole life, okay? Rey became a Force user and a lightsaber wielder in a matter of a couple days from Luke.
I have a couple words for Rey right now, if I was going to tell her anything. And it would be, you can be on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
She doesn't deserve a place in the council.
She's not a master yet. She hasn't done the master.
She's not a Padawan yet.
No.
She should still be wearing the helmet, trying to block the lasers. She's on ground level. They just decided to say she's special. So, and then they backed themselves into a corner and said, she's supposed to be really powerful, maybe more powerful than Luke. How are we supposed to explain this? Because she's not a Skywalker, clearly. What do? How do we subvert expectations without just making her, I don't know, a lost daughter of Princess Leia or something, Like, what are you supposed to do? And they came up with Palpatine. Palpatine was getting it on in the Senate somewhere, apparently, and had a daughter.
Yeah.
And which is completely nuts.
Could be freaky.
Could be a freak. But what I'm saying is that was the only thought. That was the only idea they could come up with to say, how are we going to make Rey more powerful? I have an idea. Completely retcon the entire Anakin story by saying his sacrifice to save his son and kill his master was all in vain because his master lived. Like, completely retcon everything that George Lucas did to bolster up the dramatic up and down and back up again story development of Vader and Anakin to prop up this broad.
Broad?
to make her more powerful. And the only way they could think to do that, because she has boobies. Like, that was the main reason why. She has boobies, and they wanted to make sure that she was more powerful than every other man. So the only way they could figure out how to do that
wait a minute here.
Is to make her the daughter of Palpatine.
I don't want to be a
Kennedy
masculine man here.
Applauded this.
Wait a minute.
Joshua, Trump is president. We can say whatever we want.
Okay, I don't want to be a masculine man, but I don't know. Boobies are pretty powerful. I mean, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Hold off I like the boobies.
I am so sick of Star Wars that's created by Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah. I'm so sick of her beady little bug eyes in charge of this legendary franchise and completely taking a crap over everything that formed us as children. I mean, that we found great inspiration, and we spent time imagining Star Wars spin-off characters, and we would play lightsaber fights. We invested many. We asked for so many Christmas gifts and birthday gifts for lightsabers. We supported this franchise so much as children and spent so much time with it, all to be given to Kathleen Kennedy, where she can make her activist points and applaud shows like The Acolyte and applaud characters like Rey and completely retcon everything that was beautiful and powerful with the lessons of Anakin and the cautionary tale that his life told. My goodness, how stupid do you have to be to even consider continuing this dumb Disney Star Wars franchise?
I think the only thing we could do, our last hope, as we like to say in Star Wars,
they literally killed hope. That was the point of Star Wars. They killed hope.
Buy Disney and change
Elon Musk, please, for everything beautiful and good, buy Disney Star Wars and fix it, man. You have more imagination. You're literally out here creating real freaking spaceships. You could do a better job by far than Kathleen Kennedy. Tell Kathleen Kennedy to go retire. In fact, give her a fire without a freaking severance. Fire her without severance, because she's completely failed at her ability to do it.
I don't know if Elon Musk is going to do that. He's already talking about, I mean, this is something else, but if he fires somebody, he's like, I'm going to give him 2-year severance. That's nah.
Listen,
1 year 6 months. Give him 6 months.
This is exactly what I'm going to say. Okay. Bob Iger is a shill, and I'm disappointed in his ability to run this company. Okay. However, if Bob Iger wants to save face, if he wants to save his own skin, all right, and get back the respect of the fans to where we'll actually try a Star Wars film in the future, where we will even consider trying and even consider forgiving you for all of your cinema sins, fire Kathleen Kennedy tomorrow.
Well,
fire her.
I doubt that's going to happen.
Fire Kathleen Kennedy. Get rid of her. She's no good. She literally said she cried out of how good she thought The Acolyte was. She said when she watched The Acolyte that it was everything she had ever hoped Star Wars would become. And it was blasphemous. Completely garbage. She needs to be fired. It's very clear that she's not on the same page with what's best for the franchise, the intellectual property that George Lucas took so much care in crafting for the world.
No. We need to get to the Patreon supporter, but it's funny. We hold Steven Spielberg in such high praise.
I'm not that high. I just respect his story, and they're crapping all over it.
Spielberg.
Did you say Spielberg?
Yeah, Spielberg.
Thought you said Lucas.
No, yeah. Spielberg, because he owns all his stuff still. I mean, to a point. The companies that it's co-owned with right. But Spielberg is his stuff is masterpiece. And it's funny that Lucas was friends with Spielberg, but yet Lucas is like, yeah, I'm gonna sell all my stuff. I'm gonna sell Star Wars to Disney, and now we hate it, and we still love Spielberg, but that's kind of funny. I don't know. I just thought of that. But let's thank if you guys. How do I end this a little bit? What do you guys think of Star Wars right now? This writer, do you guys have hope for a 10, 11, 12 episode
There is no
movie?
hope, Joshua. There is no hope.
I don't know if there's hope or not, but let us know in the comments down below.
Yo, Simon, this guy, Simon, don't just say no. Back out of the contract.
Down, okay, at least get rid of one pen. You don't get two. Two is too much power. You get one pen to swing around and
getting 3.
Okay, no, that's too much. That's too much now.
I have 3 pens. I have Wolverine claws.
Too much. What were you gonna say with Simon? And let's thank
Simon. Back out of your contract. Don't do it. Get out. Save your skin. Do not be attached to this project. Get out. Don't go down with the ship. Freaking run for your life, dude. Run for your life. Get out.
Okay.
That's what I say. Trump is president, everybody.
let's thank the you have too much power right now. You feel like you have too much power, but you don't. He's not president yet.
All right. Thank you so much, Danita Beery. Thank you for supporting us on YouTube memberships. She gets the podcast we record early. She also gets exclusive pre-show podcasts that we do called the pre-show. Believe it or not, we called it the pre-show, everybody.
Pre-show.
She gets that. It's exclusive. It won't ever be public. So you have to be a member or either on Patreon or YouTube to watch it. You can join whichever one you want if you're interested. It's the same price. It's only $3.99 a month, and you get access to our podcast early pre-show stuff, as well as anything else we release, as well as your name in the credits and personal shout-outs in the podcast. And your name's in the credits of every video on the channel, not just on the podcast. So definitely consider supporting.
There's watch parties, and we're, talking about dabbling in something new.
I have a few cool ideas, actually. But thank you so much, Danita Beery. Thank you so much for your choosing to support us. You can do the same. Go to the link in the description. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. So our next topic, go to the first line real quick.
All right. Something that's a palate cleanser.
There's a lot of Batman news right now in the sphere of media right now.
Yes.
Because of the Penguin show, which we're not talking about it. I haven't.
What do you mean?
We haven't seen it, but I'm not talking about that. I haven't seen it.
But people who have seen it like it so much. So why can't we talk about it? I've been watching it.
We're talking about Batman in general. Maybe not the show specifically though, but just some news. So can you pull up the article? This one probably first. So with the last Batman movie, we got a little sneak peek with the Joker, but there's some rumors here. So scroll down to,
is it this one?
No, it was scroll down one more. Yeah, the first one there.
According to a report from Derek, blah, 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 the Joker isn't in the Batman Part 2. Okay, so this is the big thing. Let's just throw this out there. If you're not watching The Penguin is a really good show about Oz, and it's extremely good. It's I think better than the Batman movie where Robert Pattinson played the Batman.
Yeah.
However, Batman Part 2 is going to be coming out, I think, in 2026. All right. So this is a show that picks up right at the end of the Batman. Once they caught, the Riddler, he's in jail, and they have to rebuild the city. The city just flooded. So this is now the Penguin rising in the crime world in Gotham, and it's going to bridge the first movie, the Batman, and Batman Part 2. It is literally a show to bridge those two movies together. All right.
Yeah.
And then, So what they're saying is the Joker isn't in the Batman Part 2, which is surprising because it feels like, well, they teased him in the first one. What's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
All right. But apparently will instead be the main villain in the Batman Part 3. So the question is, so far they're on a good track. If 2 is as good or a little bit better than the first one, then we're on track to being able to get a third as long as Matt Reeves is still into it. And for my sake, as long as Greg Fraser still wants to shoot the dang thing, because I don't want a different cinematographer shooting this movie. He's going to be shooting Batman Part 2. I really hope he shoots Batman Part 3 as well. So this is the first I've heard that they're actually talking about going all the way for 3 movies.
2 and 3, yeah. Do you think this is off a little bit, but do you think the reason why they want to do 3 films and why they hold Batman in such high regard is only because of Christopher Nolan?
No, I think they show Chris Nolan as the concept that worked. And as long as you can turn the key the right way for Batman, it's the same thing for Spider-Man, okay? Mm-hmm. If you can turn Batman and Spider-Man are the DC and Marvel top dogs, all right? They just are. When it comes to graphic art, when it comes to movies, animated shows, when it comes to anything, the ticket to get people to go, like Batman and Spider-Man is everyone's favorite superheroes.
Yeah.
So if you can get Batman just right, or at least good enough for people to accept it for what it is, like Chris Nolan did, then you're playing with fire. It's the same thing with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. It's the same thing with Tom Holland on some level, right? With his Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
The DC Justice League with Ben Affleck, I don't think did a good job with that Batman. Now, some people say they like the way he looks, like bulk Batman. You know what I mean? As opposed to slim Batman.
Very stocky compared to...
But this Batman, it's kind of going more towards the classic Batman games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which
Arkham City and whatnot.
And more comic book accurate. I think I definitely think this is way more accurate according to the comic book, which is the original concept for this story.
So basically what I think is, it's not that they hold Chris Nolan's Batman in such high regard. It's just that it was a proof of concept that if you do something interesting enough, people will show up to watch it. So what I think Matt Reeves is doing is he said, I've always had this idea of telling not only Batman, but the Batman villains from a new perspective, as well as everyone forgets this. Not everyone forgets it. I don't know what I'm saying. Normies forget this, but this is so important. It's Gotham. How is Gotham in your story? Is it a character of your story, right?
Oh.
The city as a whole is a character in itself. And so how are you going to present the character of Gotham is very important. And I think Matt Reeves is not quite hitting the height of Chris Nolan's yet. But with this, the first movie paired with the Penguin so far is incredible. Like the Penguin really ups it by a lot.
Let's read the other article really quick, and then we can talk about it more. Because
hold on. Let me finish this. So the Joker will instead be the main villain. So we're gonna get a Joker villain in the Batman Part 3 fighting Robert Pattinson. All right. The report claims that Keoghan will first reappear in a spin-off series like the Penguin, but it's unclear if this will be a Joker series featuring the Batman villain. So apparently, I guess there's going to be another,
which makes sense. Here. I mean, once one thing works, they always want to recreate it. So
Colin Farrell has heard Penguin is in the next Batman, but he hasn't read the script. All right, listen. I was super skeptical and I wasn't paying a lot of attention to the Penguin. I'm so sorry, Colin. because once you watch the show, I don't care who's in the show. The Penguin is like my favorite, most interesting character ever, and I want him to be in everything.
Yeah, but how many hours does it take to put on all that makeup?
It takes like at least 2 or 3. At least.
More like 8, probably.
maybe.
More like 8.
Well, I've seen the time lapse of them putting it on. They found a rhythm they could do it quickly, I think. Let's see. So part of the reason Colin Farrell wanted to pursue a television series about Oscobb, aka the Penguin, is because the character kind of was a little bit of a comic relief in the Batman. The actor explains in a new interview with SiriusXM, he was a bit of a red herring to maybe take the investigation to the left when it was supposed to be heading to the right. But I just clearly felt, I think we were just a month into the shoot when I said to Dalen Clark, come on, can we do a TV show or something else with this? Because it's just too good. And he's right. If he's being truthful, and it was kind of all on Colin to like champion the idea of doing a television series about his character, he was absolutely right. I feel like there was other people that were interested. I don't think Matt Reeves was completely out of the possibility. But this is a brilliant strategy to bridge his Batman movies with villains, like season villain shows.
So it says he's in the next Batman, but that doesn't mean that he is the bad guy of the
It doesn't matter.
next movie.
He just needs to be a foil to Batman's occasional plans in the same way that he's a foil to other villains' plans in the movies as well. You know what I mean? Like he could just play a role. It's similar to how he played a role in the Batman. Like he wasn't the villain. You know what I mean?
What happened to where do we start this? Where I want to say it was probably Spider-Man. I don't know for sure if it was Spider-Man though. I feel like we had bad guy, good guy, superhero, fighting, defeating, the movie's over. Where now, and I want to say it started in like Spider-Man 3 maybe, by Sony with Tobey Maguire, where we had, Sandman, we had Venom, we had I can't think of any other villains, but there was quite a few villains in that movie. And where did this villain superhero get into place? Where there's so many bad guys, and it's like, oh, we kind of have an idea on who the next bad guy is for this, because
the thing is, I think it's valuable to do this because Gotham, the interesting thing about Batman, it's literally Batman, Alfred, and Gordon versus a very corrupt city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the Batman story.
Yeah.
And so
kind of interesting. If they were expecting to make all these, 3 movies, shows, and all this, are they still excited? Are they still, glad they picked Robert Pattinson to be the Batman?
You think he's got? I think he's got longevity to be the Batman, and I think he'll just get better.
I mean, longevity. How many Twilight movies was he in?
4.
Okay, he's got 4 films under his belt. He could be in.
Yeah, he could do it. He could do 4 Batmans. Come on.
Yeah, I mean he does about as much acting in this as he does in, the Twilight movies, like just kind of be moody.
So here's another thing.
I'm Batman.
Going back to the article about the Joker, right? I don't think that it would be wise in any circumstance to try to make a series about the Joker at all.
Well,
Joker, it needs to be.
There's so much Joker stuff out there because we romanticized the Joker character, like the Joker movies that everybody hated that just came out. The first Joker movie, Heath Ledger's Joker. We have
you talk about the first Joker. You talking
Joaquin
about
Phoenix?
Tim Burton's?
No, but then also Tim Burton's. there's so many Joker characters out there because we romanticize the Joker so much. But bad guys or characters like the Penguin fall short to the Joker because even though they're good characters, we only look at the Joker. And maybe that's because the Joker is, the main villain, the main arch nemesis to Batman.
Arch nemesis
to the Batman.
Right.
It's not the character. It's the bad guy for Batman.
Yeah.
But maybe, we need to look at some other bad guys.
Well, so you have the famous ones: Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Harley Quinn. Who am I missing? Two-Face. Who am I missing?
There's a lot in there. I'm thinking of Spider-Man ones for some reason. I was about to say Doc Ock. No,
right,
there's a lot in there.
Clayface, Bane, right? Okay, Catwoman. Poison Ivy, yes.
I can't think of any specifically, but I know there's a lot in there.
Deadshot, apparently.
Yeah. Deadshot.
Says.
Yeah.
So basically, they could take a bunch of different directions. But what I think needs to happen is Joker can't be the main character. He can't get his own show. Scarecrow? Did I say Scarecrow? Yeah, I said Scarecrow. Okay. Yeah. Joker can't be the main character. He just can't. He's not meant to be. He's never meant to be. Right?
No, he is Joker's meant to be. I disagree with that statement.
No. Joker's not supposed to be a main character villain. He is the villain, but if you're going to present him correctly, you cannot be all up in his business trying to explain the Joker. No, that is the wrong move. You need to let him be a mysterious fellow that nobody understands or can put their finger on and occasionally ends up in the asylum.
Okay.
That is who the Joker is.
Really quickly, who do you want to be the bad guy in Batman Part 2 then? If it's not, let's assume it's not the Penguin, Colin Farrell's Penguin, or the Joker. Who do we want? We want Scarecrow?
Scarecrow would be super interesting, but I am kind of interested in redeeming Bane.
Okay.
And I don't know how I feel about Catwoman, but I also would like to... Okay, here's the thing.
So in this universe, this is more grounded in what I feel like reality. It's dark, but it feels like it's grounded more reality of like not as much superhero-ness, if that makes sense what I'm saying. So a guy who hits a button and gets big, like it feels fake. So they would have to play Bane in a specific way, almost like Christopher Nolan.
Bane doesn't hit a button and go.
The original Bane does. The original Bane. You're thinking of Christopher Nolan's Batman, where he does not do that in Christopher Nolan's version, but the original Bane has a button where he goes and he gets steroids and grows and blows up. Almost a Hulk-esque type thing.
All right. Here's another thing. I would like to see Harley Quinn redeemed and not be freaking Lady Gaga or, Margot Robbie. I would like to see Harley Quinn in a world like the Batman. All right. I would like to see an actual Harley Quinn that would work. Whereas, and it would motivate. Like, imagine this. They do the Batman Part 2, and then one day HBO drops a trailer, and instead of it reading The Batman, like top to bottom screen, red letters, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And instead of it saying The Penguin, top to bottom, red letters,
Yeah.
It doesn't say the Joker, but rather it says Harley, right? Top to bottom, red letters. And we're going to get a show that is
okay.
great, that's just running into the background of Harley and then the corruption leading into, because we all kind of know how Harley became corrupted by the Joker in Arkham Asylum, which would make sense why he's in Arkham at the present moment. And he's going to be the villain in the third movie.
That's all good, but we saw Birds of Prey.
Oh, come on.
And it's a terrible movie. I don't want to say Harley Quinn would be a terrible choice for that, but the track record with Birds of Prey was so bad. I mean, even I watched it recently. My wife had never seen it, and she's like, I want to put on Birds of Prey and watch it. And so we watched it, and it's the worst movie ever. And I'm normally not the person to say it's a terrible movie. I'm the person who says the bad movies are good. But
I'm the dumbass who says bad movies are good.
Hey, I never said I was a dumbass, but I thought that was such a bad movie. And so I don't know if I want to see Harley Quinn.
This is what I think. I think 2, possibly 3 seasons of shows around this Matt Reeves, the Batman, is powerful.
I don't
mixed with
with that.
3 movies. I think
do not
6.
Disagree with that.
Yeah, I think
that's
3 shows, 3 movies. That is a strong mix.
Okay,
all right.
Answer this question then, and then as we kind of close off this Batman topic. But do you think the reason why people love this Penguin show, and I haven't seen it, so I don't know, is because it doesn't feel superhero-esque. It feels more, what's the right word? Crime boss show. It's a crime boss show. It's not a superhero show.
All right. This is my very ground level take of it. All right.
Okay.
I really like sort of crime boss mafia movies. All right. Okay. I love and shows. I love Sopranos. I love Godfathers. I was watching Goodfellas. I know I've never been on it. I've been watching Goodfellas. I'm almost done with it. I had to stop the other day.
Okay. This is not a show here. This is one movie.
I know. I had to stop it. Okay.
Okay. We're only gonna give you a pass because you have a little 1-year-old kid.
Yes, that's why I had to stop it. Now, I really like these movies, okay, and these shows. The Penguin is doing that, except you have the added element of Gotham, which is already familiar to us. The story of Gotham as a city and all the crime, we go into it expecting. It doesn't feel like New York. It's worse than New York. You know what I mean? And we already have that expectation. So it adds so much more interest when there are gangs and crime bosses and crime families and the Penguin who's rising in power through that amidst the chaos. When there is chaos in Gotham and in the crime families because of the chaos in Gotham, you have this slimy dude who's making his way up to the top one step at a time, It's like Tony Soprano, but the thing is there's an open door. Instead of having to be like, I don't really know, like I like mafia movies, but I don't know these characters, okay? I don't know. I've never been to New York. I don't have any kind of deep knowledge about the New York or New Jersey mafia. And so it's just kind of like, it takes a while to figure out Sopranos. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is not that. It's much easier point of entry because it's Gotham. It is Tony Soprano rising up in Gotham. That is what the Penguin is. And it's freaking awesome, dude. It's so much easier to watch than The Sopranos. As good as Sopranos is, it's easier to watch than that. And it's more fun to watch than that, in my opinion. It's really good. It's so much better than even the Batman.
Put it in the comments down below. What's a better show, Sopranos or The Penguin?
If you've seen both. And
if you've seen both.
If you say The Sopranos, that makes sense because there's so many seasons and so many episodes. You learn to love the story, and over the years, it's become nostalgic to you. But if you think about the first time you turned on Sopranos and was trying to get into the show, and then the first time you watched Penguin, which was just a few weeks ago, getting into the show, which one was more fun and more quick to do that? The Penguin, by far.
As a good little Italian boy, you know, I'm ashamed to say this, but I haven't seen either. So
you're giving me a hard time about Goodfellas, but you haven't seen The Sopranos, bro.
Okay, I haven't seen The Sopranos. That's definitely one that I should be on the ball with.
I did notice
Penguin. I got a little pass here because
I did notice there's a lot of crossover actors from Goodfellas to Sopranos. There's a lot of crossover actors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is a random question, random thing. This is more of a pre-show, but a really quick conversation.
Trump is president.
No, really quick story that I want to interject between stories.
Okay.
While I was working at Lowe's, there was this older gentleman that came up to me one day and started talking to me about a specific product we have. And I started talking to him, and I got into a full conversation with him about his life. And the real mob boss, Italian mafia in real life is New York City, blue collar construction workers. If you didn't, know.
Union members, dude.
Yeah, union members, New York City. So this guy,
Sopranos covers all this. You should just watch the show. You would have known this.
I don't want to say any specific names because I don't want to. I don't know this. I'm not gonna out him or anything. But like he was like, yeah, I went to college, and my best friend in college, my roommate, was the son of a very wealthy mob family in New York City. So they paid for me to go to school to get my license, my forklift license, these big crane forklift license to build big skyscrapers. And he said, yeah, they paid for me to get my license and to go to school for that. So then I started working for them. And for 40 years, I worked for the mob building big buildings, skyscrapers in New York City. And it was a fantastic story. I talked to him for about 30 minutes, and then he's like, yeah, have a good day. And I was like,
did he ever say his life was at risk?
No, because he was friends with them. They were like family to him. And
it doesn't matter to crime boss.
They were like family, but he worked for him in construction. He wasn't part of the illegal stuff. He was just part of the construction.
He was in the legit side of the business.
Yeah, the legit construction part, and
not in the shady part of the business.
Yeah, and so he built
where they break your legs.
And it was a fantastic story I had. It was a great story of someone I met just passing at Lowe's one day. I don't know if I ever told you that story, but it was a awesome guy that I met. I wish I knew I could I had his phone number to call him and talk to him again. But so our next story, going to the next thing. So we've been talking about Christopher Nolan a lot recently.
Yeah.
First, we talked about how Tom Holland and Matt Damon is going to be joining the cast of his new movie. We kind of speculated of what we think it's going to be. We said this, we said that. And
vampires. We landed on it's probably going to be vampire horror.
Yeah,
right?
He's making a new Twilight movie.
And that's not confirmed.
Today, well, not today for you guys. It's going to probably be about a week old.
Okay.
We have some more news that Zendaya and Anne Hathaway, you going to go to the slide, is joining the cast of his movie. So
this will be movie number 3 for Anne Hathaway. She was in the third Batman.
Yes.
She was in Interstellar. And that was it, right? So this will be movie
Small
number
role
3.
In Interstellar.
She was a big role in Interstellar. What are you talking about?
No, smaller-ish.
She was lead female character in Interstellar.
Sure.
Sure. When was the last time you watched it? She was a big character.
Yeah, no, she's definitely been in a lot of Christopher Nolan for some reason.
I gotta say this.
That's curious. What has she done to be in these roles? What gives her so much favoritism here?
Christopher Nolan. He always reuses actors.
Mm-hmm.
What are you trying to say?
He hasn't
You're
reused.
implying some kind of Diddy party or something, man.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe.
No. All right. So
he hasn't reused Josh Peck from from the last movie.
Okay, listen to me. This is when I see this is the first thing that I think.
Okay.
And here's why. I
if
applaud.
You say anything about Dune, I'm gonna reach through the screen.
Nope. I'm not
booty.
gonna say anything about Dune. Besides the fact, of course, you're building on that momentum. Chris Nolan is so freaking smart because he is going to get so many young 20s, potentially teenage girls out to watch his movie.
How so?
Because he's going to have Tom Holland and Zendaya in a movie together.
Yeah, but girls though?
Yes. They haven't seen this outside of Spider-Man. So they're going to want to see that interaction again. Everyone's obsessed with their relationship. Have you seen all of the girls talking about Tom Holland loves Zendaya so much? He doesn't I definitely when girls flirt with him. He does.
I definitely think this is a fun speculation, I guess, at this point, because we haven't seen it yet, of saying Tom and Zendaya being on a Christopher Nolan film where maybe we don't know what the story is. We don't know what characters they're going to be playing or anything yet. So I'm not saying like what it's going to be or anything like that, but it is fun to do that. I'm interested.
So this is just, and here's the thing. I'm not like, I've seen Euphoria. I think Zendaya is a really good actor. Some people see her movies and think, no, she's not. But if you watch that one movie she did with John David Washington that came out on Netflix around Valentine's Day, did you see that one?
Yes, but I would argue the opposite because of that movie. Because have you seen that movie recently? Did you watch it more than once?
No.
Okay.
But I watch Euphoria.
All you have to do is watch 5 minutes of it. Go specifically to watch that movie. I think it's Malcolm and Mary or something like that.
Okay, yeah, Malcolm and Mary, yeah.
Specifically, go watch it and watch the scene where Zendaya is smoking the cigarette. You can tell.
I know she doesn't. That doesn't mean she's a bad actor. She doesn't inhaling. I think
it is. I think it is because
there's so many actors to do that.
If you cannot be comfortable with something between your fingers like this, then don't smoke a cigarette on film. She is the most uncomfortable. It's like this. This is what it is. Like, like
she doesn't know how to inhale.
She doesn't know how to smoke the cigarette. If you want to, as an actor, learn how to smoke a cigarette. Smoke. Okay. If you are told, oh, you're going to smoke a cigarette on film, then for 6 months prior, you smoke a pack a day for 6 months straight. And then you learn how to smoke those cigarettes.
Just get used to inhaling. Like, do a cigarette a week. Just get used to it. Figure out the optics. I understand what you're saying, but you're right. She doesn't know how to smoke a real cigarette.
She's a great actress, but I will not say, I think there's things that, yes, she's lacking, but I think overall, yes, she's a good actress.
Look, I was kind of joking. You see her in Euphoria, she's really good. All right. And I just don't know how you can say otherwise. She's a real talent, and she's on the same level as Tom Holland, maybe, her boyfriend. I'm just saying this is really smart because this is not just good actors for Chris Nolan's film. and getting some of the stars, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But also, people are going to show up because they want to see Zendaya and Tom in movies together.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
And that's what I'm saying, that it's going to attract a demographic of people who wouldn't show up to Oppenheimer. You know what I mean? If Oppenheimer and Barbie were coming out the same week, but Oppenheimer had Zendaya and Tom Holland in it, there would have been more people that would have skipped Barbie to go to Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he's either intentionally doing this, it seems intentional to me, to bring in both of them in the same movie, especially with both of them. He's introducing them to his acting catalog, right? Because he always, once he gets you, you're either a one-hit wonder in his movies, or you are someone who finds themselves in his movies many times into the future. We're seeing that with Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon, right?
Yeah.
So with that, this is smart. He's introducing not only two really big actors, but they are boyfriend, girlfriend, and they are faces for culture right now, pop culture. So it's smart. It's freaking smart. He knows how to put a movie together that's going to make itself popular without even knowing his story yet. Like, he's good at that. And I just got to say, I'm applauding it. I think it's a good choice. It's interesting. And if he does if he is actually making a vampire horror film, which is crazy to think about how Chris Nolan's going to do a vampire horror film. If he does actually do that, starting to intrigue me even more seeing these cast members.
Yeah, I like Zendaya. I have some qualms with Anne Hathaway, but they're all...
Yeah, she's super liberal these days.
Yeah.
And Trump's president, so...
yeah. It's so she shouldn't be an actor. And
well, she just recently like endorsed Kamala Harris, so she's probably crying signing new Chris Nolan contracts.
No, this is not new. She's been this way her whole life, or at least her Hollywood scene life as an actress.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's all I have for this. I wanted to highlight this really quickly because we've been talking about Christopher Nolan, and we'll see. This is kind of big news. I think it's interesting. Two directors, I think everybody is talking about what's their next film? What's the next thing that they're going to be doing?
Who? Chris Nolan and who?
Quentin Tarantino.
You think Quentin Tarantino's on the same level as Chris Nolan?
In a different way, yes. In a different way, yes.
Okay.
In a different way, yes.
What is the highest grossing Quentin Tarantino movie?
Different, I will admit, but yes. Everybody's like, what's Quentin's going to be doing his last film, or like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Pulp Fiction. The hype is around his films. And so I think people are talking when there's whispers about his movies. People want to be in these movies. Actors want to be in them. We want to know what the story is and everything.
What is his highest grossing movie, Quentin Tarantino? Okay, so I think Django.
That sounds about right.
Is his highest grossing movie, right. And it only made half of what Oppenheimer made.
Okay, money-wise?
Yeah.
Okay, money-wise, he's not there. But like whispers on the streets.
Look, I'm not going to say, all right, it's true. Everyone does sit at the edge of their seats, but it's not because they're waiting for another Quentin Tarantino movie. It's because it's Quentin Tarantino's last movie. You know what I mean?
No, it's movie. I mean, Hateful Eight, Django, ever since Pulp Fiction, people have been talking about his films.
Whatever, man. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us. Hope this is fun. I'm sorry I got really fired up about Star Wars earlier, but it's how I feel. And you know what? I take back my apology I just said just now.
Why?
I'm not sorry about getting fired up for Star Wars.
No, yeah. Don't apologize.
I don't apologize. I'm right.
Thank you guys for watching. We will see you on Monday for Monday All Weekend. So go check that out and go subscribe to the Patreon.